from the trauma I experienced, I vowed that I'm going to make that woman, that demon, feel what I felt. So I did the exact same thing to my daughter.
What did you do to the daughter?
I molested her.
You raped a 13 years old girl?
Yes.
Learn to love the sound of your feet, walking away from things that are not meant for you. Welcome to another beautiful episode on Beyond the Veil, brought to you by Erispa TV. And I am your popular host, Apostle King. And tonight, we are going to be discussing a very sensitive matter. And this reality will break you to your shore. This is a story of a young man who has been caught in between his emotion, traumatized, and this is affecting his mental health and his physical state because of his action for revenge. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen to the unpopular truths from the mouthpiece himself. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, so on this show, we talk about your reality. And I want to commend you for that courage, that step, that bold step coming here to inspire others. Now, tell us from the beginning. Be concise, be precise, and more detailed so people in the global world would understand. Our viewers at home and whoever is watching us would understand in clarity. So tell us how it all began. And please be clear and, precise.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, it all started when I was very little. I think I was about 7, 8 years old at the time. There is this woman, there's this lady. She's our neighbor. She has been our neighbor for a very long time, longer than I can remember. On this fateful day, we were playing outside. I can remember till today. Me and my friends were just playing. Then the auntie called me. She told me to buy something. I think she was around her mid-20s. She called me. I was like, "Hi, can you help me get something?" And I helped her to get it. She sent me a message. I left my friends where they were playing. I don't know why she chose me, but she told me to get what she wanted, and I went to the market. I got it. Then I came back. She told me to come upstairs. I was meant to drop the what she told me to buy and leave, but for one reason or the other, she told me to come inside her room. I was surprised, but I didn't know what was going on. I was just complying. Then I entered the room. I dropped the item, and she came out with towel. I didn't know what was going on. I just like, "Auntie, this is your towel. This is what you sent me." And I wanted to start going, and she called me like, "Come." She told me to help her to rub cream on her back. I was confused. Being an innocent child, I didn't know what was going on. I just followed up. I rubbed her back. She kept making this funny sound. I didn't know what was going on. At that age, you have no clue what's going on. Then I rubbed her back for a while. Then she told me she gave me a chocolate, and she told me to go. And since then, it kept happening every single time. I'll come to her house. She'll send me a message. She'll give me chocolate. It kept getting worse and worse to a point where she started touching me. Yeah, I can still remember there was this time when she told me to come upstairs. I thought she would just send me a message and like she normally do, but she told me to she told me to pull my trouser. I was confused. I refused. I was like confused. Why should I pull my trouser? Then she just did it by herself. She like come here. She just brought my trouser down and started playing with my private part. I was confused. I didn't like it. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't have a voice at that time. couldn't even say anything to my parents. I was just there, you know,
So
doing what she.
if I listen to you correctly, this particular auntie stays in the same compound with you.
Yes, in the same compound.
Okay, she's a next door neighbor, and you were just 7 or 8.
Yes,
So that is basically molestation.
e-
She molested you.
exactly. That was the point I'm trying to make.
And then she was touching you. She took your stuff down and was
Mm-hmm.
playing with your private part, your penis.
Exactly.
Okay, let's continue this story.
And it kept going on like that, on and on. I couldn't. She told me I must not tell anybody. If not, she'll start giving me chocolate, and she will not be happy with me. We will not be friends again. Treating the child like that. I don't know any better. The child will just continue doing what you tell him to do. It really messed my head up, traumatized me a lot. I dream of it many times. You know, I still remember her smell and everything she was doing. Um, to cut the long story short, I think something happened. We left there. We relocated to somewhere else. My dad had a job, a new job at a new location, so we had to move to another state. That's how I left. How I never told my mother, I never told my father. It just stayed with me. I didn't have the courage to speak up at the time. And that's how it ended. I was living my life, remembering every second of what was happening that nobody knew about, you know, to a point where I hated women. I literally hated women for years, thinking all the ladies, every female to
I'm
be precise.
sorry on this
Yeah,
show. I want you to be detailed.
yes,
Why she was molesting and touching you? Just mere molestation, or there was an intercourse?
yes, of course.
Oh, you both were sexual.
Yeah,
For like how many years were you sexual before you left that compound?
no. There are about 2 to 3 years before we left that compound in
Wow.
that state.
As a little child.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, continue.
So that's how it happened. I left there, we were living our life. Like I said before, I hated women. I hated the opposite sex totally. To a point where I didn't want to have anything to do with any girl, any woman at all. So that's how it went. Years has gone by, I'm still traumatized. Not told anybody anything about it. You know. Something happened, I guess. We had we had a family gathering. There was one of our neighbor. He invited us back to the same place we were at that time when I was 6, 7 to 8 years old, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, he invited us, so we visited based on our past relationship we had when at the house. So we left. I and my family we went to visit the man. Surprisingly for me, I got to find out that that same lady, is still living there.
Oh,
Even
she's still living in that same
exactly,
compound.
she's still living in that same compound. Then we were inside. She saw me. We greeted. Like nothing happened. Yeah. Then something happened. I saw a little girl inside the house, and I got to find out that it was her daughter,
And that little girl would be around what age?
around 12, 13, I guess, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Filled with the pain of what this woman did to me. It's like everything just came back. The pain and the trauma I felt. I was always feeling it has always been part of me, but like as if this time it came back fresh. Just
Because you were
because
able to meet with the woman again.
I met the woman again, the same location, the same environment. You see an old house. They have not really done anything to renovate, so I can still remember everything, how everything was still like that. you know. Then I was very angry. I never thought I would ever come to that compound again. But we had to go. It was because it was a family gathering and the rest. I was very angry. I saw her daughter. Her daughter, she had no idea what was happening. She didn't know who her mother really really was. She probably thinks her mother is a saint or something. Not know her mother is a demon. So what happened is I wanted to be free from this torture, this trauma I was feeling inside. So I figured I think it's time for a revenge. Since I'm in the same compound, I'm going to do exactly what she did to me to her daughter. So I think we stayed there for more than a week. I was talking to her daughter little by little without anybody's knowledge. She didn't know what was going on. Then there was this time we were inside, we were alone. I figured how to bring two of us alone in a particular place. Then from what I've experienced, from the trauma I experienced, I vow that I'm going to make her feel what I felt. Make her auntie, that woman, that demon feel what I felt. So I did the exact same thing to her daughter.
What did you do
Um,
to the daughter?
I molested her.
You raped a 13 years old girl?
Yes.
Okay.
And I convinced her with I gave her 15,000 naira to convince her not to tell anybody. So the issue why I'm really here is this.
Wait, when you gave her the money not to tell anyone, she did not tell anyone.
Yeah, she did not tell anyone.
Okay.
So after the incident, we went back to our house, but my main objective was not fulfilled. The reason why I was doing it is because I wanted it all to go away. I wanted the memories. I wanted everything to go away. If I did the same thing to her daughter, I will feel relieved. After everything, I thought I will feel better. I thought I will feel that inner peace within, but nothing has changed. I still feel traumatized. I thought everything will go away after what has happened, what I have done with that young girl, but everything is still the same. So that's why I'm here.
So you still feel that pain, that trauma. You still feel sad and hurting. After this whole revenge, you still do not find that peace in your heart.
Yes.
Well, this is our story. Whenever it becomes vendetta that you need to revenge or avenge for something they have done to you, if revenging or avenging does not bring peace, then it is wrong. I'm talking to you that is going through a more difficult trauma, that is going through a more difficult challenge and don't know what to do. This story is an inspiration for you to heal. Healing comes from speaking up. When you speak up, that's the first stage of therapy. When you speak up, it gives you the space to heal from the inside. So I don't know where you are listening to us tonight. This is the place for you to come and tell your story. Come and share your experience. Share what you have experienced, whatever you are going through. We are giving you the space to do that. Share this video because you don't know who that brother, sister, or neighbor is that is going through such trauma and needs this story to inspire themselves and know how to do things right. Kindly follow, share, comment on our videos because sharing our videos will help a lot of people in that state, in that trauma state. It will help them heal. This is so turning, and it has brought us to the end of this program. Thank you very much for your time. I remain your popular host, Apostle King. And this is Beyond the Veil, brought to you by Arispa TV. God bless you.